Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Lessons with Troy, the podcast. I'm your host, Troy Brenningmeyer. This week, I'm happy to welcome back Alan Akaka for another episode of Hawaiian Steel Guitar Talk Story. If you want to learn more about Alan and his school for Hawaiian music, you can visit his website at kekulamele.com. We're going to kick off this episode with my performance of his arrangement of the song Koni. If you want to learn how to play this song, we're offering the tablature, jam track, and performance track on my other site, onlinelessonvideos.com. Also, if you're interested in learning more about playing lap steel, dobro, Weissenborn, or pedal steel, be sure to go over to my site, lessonswithtroy.com. Right now, here's the song Koni, followed by Talk Story with Alan Akaka. Welcome to another podcast with Alan Akaka. So let's go ahead and make him welcome all the way from Hawaii.
Aloha. Aloha, everybody. Yeah, everything is nice here in Hawaii. There's a lot of people visiting. When I go down to Waikiki, it's like, my gosh, there's so many people walking around coming into the Waikiki Beach Marriott where I play every Thursday evening.
Yeah,
a lot of people. Standing room only.
Nice. Well, we had, I guess coming from the last podcast, we got some questions right after we finished. I didn't know if we want to, we're kind of a little short on time this week. We'll might maybe just jump right on to some of the questions if you don't mind. And,
Shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. We can. Now, one of the questions was about the vibrato.
Mm-hmm.
How do I perform or how do I play the vibrato to get that sound that many people refer to as Hawaiian?
Yeah, and that's what I love. I mean, I have such a stiff hand. When I see you, it's, when I see you, it's honestly, I'm looking at that and I thought about this. I don't know if I ever brought this up to you. It almost looks like your vibrato is covering the full width of the spacing in between the frets, almost. When you move your hand back and forth.
It depends. It depends what I want to do. Like if I want to add a little emphasis. Sometimes I'll do that. Other times I'll just keep it pretty narrow. But the key to this is also the tempo at which you do the vibrato. Here, let me put this down. And you could see what I'm doing over here with the vibrato. Okay, so let's just say I play this without vibrato. Okay, and I add vibrato, and what I'm going to do is actually take my hand and it's like I'm waving at somebody, like this. I'm going to do it here. Now, if you slow this down, you can analyze and see what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I start with nothing, and then I start spreading it out little by little till I get to how much I want. And, I do go as far as halfway. But, again, the key is the speed, the tempo. Obviously, if I played it a little slower, it would sound wobbly.
So are you going in front of the fret too, or just behind the fret?
Both sides of the fret.
Both sides of the fret, okay.
Here and there.
Okay.
Both sides, left and right. Of course, if I go too far, that doesn't sound good either. And also, the tempo of the song makes a difference. The faster the song, the vibrato also follows it in tandem. It goes faster. Slower song, maybe just slightly slower. Now, I'm not, again, the player has to use his or her judgment on the speed of the vibrato. You don't want it to sound wobbly, and you don't want to sound like what my teacher Jerry Bird used to say, sounding like a mosquito, you know. Uh, and then I don't do vibratos at 8 notes normally. It's normally quarter notes, half notes, whole notes.
Okay.
Now, anything larger or longer than a quarter note. And if I'm sliding, I don't do vibrato. So,
And that's something that I'm going to apply is I don't know who told me this. It might have been at one of the Dobro workshops that I've taken, but somebody said to go behind the fret, but never go in front of the fret. So I mean, ever since I've always been playing, never did try to go in front of the fret. So I'd always just go behind, like flat the note, but I'll have to try actually going in front of the fret too,
Yeah, so and you know what? Maybe that's where that player gets his sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's his signature.
Mm-hmm.
Playing under rather than playing, on both sides. Well, if you think of the human voice too, does it go under or does it go above and below?
Yeah.
Anybody can go and do a little research, analyze.
And I see your ring and pinky finger kind of remain static, like in the same place, while you kind of have a space in between.
They're almost planted there, anchored.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it easier for me to do that.
Yeah.
Rather than going like this. And you know what? I'm glad you noticed that, because if you just do it like this, it's not as easy to control the bar. If you plant these two, then you can keep it more on the narrow side rather than letting it get too wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, faster song, my vibrato went a little faster.
Okay.
But still, it feels good.
Yeah.
Not my vibrato didn't go so fast that it sounded like, again, that mosquito sound. So hopefully that answers the question about vibrato. Of course, I invite anybody to ask more questions. If you have anything more that you want to know about vibrato, then please, feel free to let Troy know.
So as far as like exercises, or is it just more just playing songs and try to just make it sound good, or do you have like exercises?
Exercise. Just do it. Start with nothing. And bring it out. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. A little loose. And that's it. And make sure that the fingers are nice and loose. Again, like you're waving to somebody out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of feel. I'm sure nobody goes like this, all tense. Unless, they're at 0-degree weather. But nice and loose. And that's key.
Yeah.
It's nice and loose. There's no tension at all. You should be able to do this. And it's all within the hand. Everything that I do is all within the hand. Slants, always within, all with, I should say, my fingers, using my fingers. Rather than, using the elbow or using the wrist.
Yeah.
It's all centralized here. Yep, all within the fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Yeah.
Left hand blocking.
Okay, what was it again?
Somebody, I believe, asked about how do I block with my left hand?
Yeah, Andy Volk asks, how does Alan use left hand blocking when changing strings and phrasing a melody?
Normally, Andy, I use my right hand to block, okay? So, and so everybody can see a little better what I'm doing over here. I'm lifting my palm just a little, not much. Let me go to
Mm-hmm.
the lighter and quicker it is, the better. And in order to get to that point, a person just has to practice it to keep it light and quick. And here's an important tip when picking, especially when you start picking faster. Keep the hand relaxed. Because I'm sure there are players out there who notice when they start picking faster, the hand gets tight, the fingers,
Mm-hmm.
and that impedes speed. So keep it nice and light. Yeah, keep it just nice and light. As far as left hand blocking, I do it. You know. Uh, I'm trying to think of. Oh, I know. Hapa Haole Hula Girl. What I'm doing is, so I'm not even using my right hand at all to block. I'm pretty much using my ring finger to block. Okay. So, but like anything else, when blocking, either right or left hand, timing is always a critical issue. Timing or synchronizing, because yeah, you can block with the finger. However, you got to get off that string if you're going to pick again.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, even even when I teach hammering, okay, if you want to eliminate that buzzing sound, you can use your middle finger or the ring finger, one or the other,
Okay.
whichever works for the person, because each of us are different. Our hands are not all the same, and here's a good example of what happens when you put too much flesh on the string before the bar lands. Nothing, and not enough. There's that buzz. Yeah.
You know, not to change the subject, but it just made me think when you're doing the open string things. One of the songs that I'm doing for one of my lessons, Pua Mana, and I'm
Yeah.
doing it in F. And I hear you guys do lots of vamps using open strings, like in the key of F. It seems. I didn't know if maybe you could show some of your favorite open string kind of vamps that.
You mean this song? Anyway, I'm using the A7 tuning.
Nice.
I better get off of it.
And your camera, if you could maybe back it up just a little bit, I can see her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me do that. Okay. Okay. So I have this. Okay. So what I'm doing is for the F key, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what a lot of steel guitars did from way in the past, from even the 20s and so on, when there were no electric guitars, You know.
Nice.
So anyway, I start with the C string open. Wait. Okay. And the third string on the first fret. So that's what I'm getting.
Okay.
And then I move the bar over on the third string to the first fret. And I play the second string first. And then play those strings. And right now I have a C7, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I resolve it to an F chord. So all I do is I slide the bar over the strings. And I put the bar on the top string, first fret only, and leave strings 2 and 3 open.
Ah. Nice. And what are those? What are the your hammer-ons that you're doing like right after the vamp?
It's just a filler after the vamp. All I did was the F scale, Going from the top string to the fifth string, going down the scale, using the open notes whenever possible. F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F.
Nice.
something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, excuse me. So, there's so many ideas. If somebody's creative enough, they can create a vamp. You know, um, or you know, I probably could do a lot of different vamps. I mean, and then things that I heard when I was growing up, vamps I made up on my own, or I maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody played it before I did, but I don't know. Give F, yeah. Um,
Yeah, yeah. No, all that stuff's gold, man. Because especially me, after trying to arrange it myself, just listen to what a singer would play, and then to hear you kind of all over the neck and things, it really shows.
yeah,
Yeah.
and some of the things I'm doing, is what I learned by listening to albums.
Mm-hmm.
LPs, 78s, 45s. Now, this is before CDs ever came out, or even cassette tapes.
Yeah.
Just listening again and again, and then, picking up the needle, dropping it someplace, picking it up again, dropping it back in the same place, picking it up, dropping, until I finally figured out what the person was doing. And that was way back then. I know much more today than I know then. So sometimes I can hear somebody play something and I go, "Oh yeah, I know where that is."
Yeah.
In fact, "Oh yeah, I know that tuning." So
So that song Puamana, that I know that Sea Breeze is that a song that was written off that melody, but
yes,
it just has a different has a bridge
it,
to it.
yes,
Okay.
yes. The original song, Puamana, written by Irmgard Farinaluli, who, by the way, lived in Kailua, not far from me.
Oh.
Everybody called her auntie. Here in the islands, for the old timers, we would call them auntie or uncle,
Mm-hmm.
even if we're not related. And that's instead of sir or ma'am, it would be auntie and uncle. Um, I mean, I do that with a lot of what we call kupuna. Kupuna would be the elders. So for Irmgard, it would be Auntie Irmgard, and that's what I would call her. And she was the sweetest person. But she wrote this song for her home
Oh.
called Puamana. So and this song is very, very popular. Very.
Well, I noticed we played it, in your workshop, and then when we had jam sessions at night in Maui, we a lot of times people would choose that song
Yeah,
to play.
yeah. The melody is so easy. You know, um, and then of course, if you wanted to jam it,
I'm just curious when you're jamming and stuff like that. Are you kind of working off of? I know you're probably doing lots of different things, but I mean a way that myself can kind of grasp the neck. Are you kind of moving in and out of like the 1-4-5 positioning
Oh,
when you?
yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, as well as neighboring chords, neighboring tones, neighboring chords.
Okay.
Yeah, I do that. And so on. So yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm grabbing certain strings to get what I want. F, C7,
Mm-hmm.
and F. All straight bar, but I'm grabbing certain strings, select strings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Well.
So, but it's just knowing the neck, knowing the tuning. It's really important. Yeah.
Okay.
And then so, what I say is, people who have a passion for playing the steel guitar, practice your scales. Oh, things like that are. And so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Get to know your neck, get to know where your chords are. F, G, B flat, C. I mean, you got your 1 chord, you got your 4 chord, 5 chord, you got your 2 chord, or in music theory, 5/7/5 chord.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere in there, depending on which strings are plucked, you can get certain chords. Or
Yeah.
going beyond that, if you know how to do what is that called? What? It escapes me now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like chord substitutions or something like that.
Well, not chord substitution. This is actually a C7 chord here. Okay. When it comes back to me, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is terrible. When you get to my age, you start forgetting things. Yeah. You forget what you learned years ago. Now. Yeah.
So what about I know that we had talked before.
Oh, I'm sorry. Split bar. That's what this is
Split bar.
called.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or for me, that's just called an out of tune chord when I try to play it.
Yeah, split bar. Yeah, Yeah. Here's a song. Split bar.
Oh, nice.
Going from a straight bar, a G7 chord. This is Emily Umay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
all these good things that you can get off of this instrument.
I love it. I love it. Well, what song you got for us this week?
Well, I have a song called Koni. Koni, this people call it the drinking song. Koni Ikawai, written by our king Kalakaua. David Kalakaua was known as the Merry Monarch. He was the one that actually brought hula back into the forefront, at least for a little while. Otherwise, since Christianity came to the islands in the early 1800s, 1820, hula was viewed as part of the old religion, and it was tied to the old religion. So were many other things in the local society. Yeah, martial arts was tied to religion too, and so on. So anyway, the hula dancers had to go underground, and Kalakaua, well, he brought it back up. He believed in keeping up or bringing back the legends. He even wrote some books, yeah, on Hawaiian legends to bring them back. And then at his coronation, he had hula dancers. So anyway, Kalakaua wrote this song when he went over to the North Shore, a place called, um, let's see, Haleiwa. We call it Haleiwa today. It's also known as Waialua. And if you look at the lyrics of the song, Waialua is in there. This is probably before the place was known as Haleiwa. Haleiwa is a new name, and I think many folks who listen to this podcast will remember the name Haleiwa because they have like one of the world's best shave ice places. Matsumoto's there. The famous beach and so on and so forth. But actually, the area is known as Waialua. Haleiwa was the name of a girls' dormitory there. And for some reason, people started calling the area Haleiwa. So anyway, just to give an idea of what the song sounds like, it goes like this. And I'm going to play it slowly. Okay, that's letter A, and this song also has a side verse, not really a bridge. It's actually lyrics from another song, but now today we do it as a medley of songs. So Koni, and then the next one is called "Kiss Me, My Darling," but it's in Hawaiian. But I must say one part after you play that little bridge, it goes into a section where we're going to do something called a bar bounce. And the bar bounce is like this. So you're going to play a closed string and then an open string. So this is what I have in letter D of this song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if I go fast, no. So that's how it goes. Now that's the same kind of bar bounce that they used to do on the old acoustic steel guitars way back in the 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
Or like what I do in songs such as Hilo March. That sort of thing.
Nice.
So this one is a song where people can actually learn how to do the bar bounce. Yeah?
Yeah.
Started like that.
And with your right hand, you're doing like a alternate picking thing?
With the right hand, yep. So if you... Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. And of course you got to synchronize the bar with the picking. So anybody who's learning how to do this or has never done the bar bounce, take it slow, because the hands have to be trained. Both hands. They're going to be confused otherwise. You got to take it slow. And it doesn't matter if you start with your thumb or your finger. It doesn't. Either way will work. That's with my finger starting, with my thumb starting. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, it's a fun song. But the drinking song, Koniao, Koniao, Ikawai. So we would do this and drink. So it is a drinking song. So
yeah, Irish have their drinking songs, and I guess the Hawaiians do too, huh?
Yes, and more than one too. More than one drinking song. We have a few. So anyway, I invite people or the listeners to send in questions, and I'll do my best in answering your questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
me too.
If you want that Hawaiian sound on your steel guitar, well, I can help you with that.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I've been trying to get it, and it's such you guys must be the most relaxed people in the world, because I find if anything's stressing me out, if I sit down to play the guitar, man, it comes right out into you got to be really relaxed.
Yeah, you just got to sit back, relax, and so on. Take a deep breath, let it out slowly, and just kind of sink into the tropics. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
Think, the white sandy beach, the blue sky, the whispering waves, things like that. I mean, well, I'm looking out there and look at that.
Yeah.
My leaves are blowing back and forth, and I can see my plumeris in bloom and gingers and what have you.
Because it comes right out into the hands. It seems like.
Yeah. It's all a feeling and so on. So if anybody's been to Hawaii and you want to kind of get into that Hawaiian mood, just kind of close your eyes, take a deep breath, let it out slowly. Think of the most precious moments you spent here in the islands or even on the beach. Looking out there and going, wow. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Or even if you're in the mountains or just driving around, that you go, oh, isn't that gorgeous? Gosh. And then, get on the steel guitar, and it's not about how fast you play, it's how you play it. Well, we'll have another session, another podcast, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Alan, and really appreciate you doing all these with us.
Absolutely. So everybody, take care. Aloha.